For this video, what we're going to do is the routing system. Go ahead and start up the new assembly. It is inches, and make a folder and drop it in there. Use pipe assembly for mine, and then FGE, and then the 1130.001.001. Good enough. Let's hit save. Now, once we hit save on this, let's close down. You're going to be like, what? Why are we closing down? Well, whenever you're setting up for scenarios like this, you need to do the routing. So we need to find the routing library and see if we can change it on the school computers. So we say ROU, and then you get the routing library manager. Once you've got that routing library manager, go ahead and wait for it to come up. It'll take a little bit of time. Sometimes it doesn't come up because it still sees your SolidWorks up. So if that happens, go Task Manager. And then scroll down until you see the SolidWorks and kill it. So there it is. Right button click, End Task. Alright, so now if you try to come up and get it, ROT, so there's your routing library. Now you can see it triggers on. So the things that I want you to check, verify inside here is make sure that your piping tube library database is correct. So when you trigger over there, you're going to see all the data coming up on this. Now the other one that I want to check is I want you to check your file location settings. Underneath your file location settings, especially at your house if you're doing this, make sure that you're under 2008. Make sure that you're seeing the route assemblies, and make sure you're seeing all these components. To load the settings at the school, just go ahead and go inch, load sets. Off of that, you can say OK. Save successful. It will usually trigger you and tell you good. The other thing that you can do is for each one of these, if you want to trigger through and take steps to locate certain things at your house, you can select the component which you want to do, and then you can run through, and it'll run through step by step where all these procedures are. Right now we should be good as gold where we're at. So we can go ahead and close out and then come back into SolidWorks. Alright, our goal is to make a little pipe extension with a T on it, and it should be nice and quick. We'll try to even go into a drawing. I'll do that on a second video. But first thing we want to do hurry up. I'm sorry, I got a lot of add-ins. Especially that's the other thing, at school right now we might not have the add-ins on, so let's check the add-ins and turn the routing on and turn it on startup. The minute that you do that, you should see whenever we open up an assembly over here on the right. So let's open up the assembly that we just made. And then once you've got that opening up, hurry up. The file is specify the file location where the document is. Do you not exist? You want that to no. Off of that, now we come in and we can take a look over here. Here is your piping instrumentation and your PIDs. Okay. The next thing we want to do is we want to look across here, and you've got the abilities to do piping. You can pull out and do your piping. I'm just going to show you a quick drag and drop scenario. A drag and drop scenario, you trigger down and go to your routing. We'll go into our piping. We'll go into our flanges. We'll grab this middle flange. We're going to do a weldment. Whenever I worked in the field, I did necks, welds, and slip-ons we didn't really do. They were too small for the profile. The stuff we did was huge. So first thing we want to do is trigger this one out and then pick the size. So we're going to do a 153 MPS. And then off of this will be the assembly. That'll be the template. The routing specifications, you can trigger those on if you want as a default on it, but I don't want those on. The next thing we want is the pipe to be a 3-inch. It's a schedule 40, and then we want to specify always use elbows on our, and we'll use the set elbows that you can use. You can use all 3 of these if you wanted to, but we're doing schedule 40 for our design. Schedule 40 is the pipe thickness by wall, and it's 3 inches ID. Then it is wall thickness out. So off of this, it's going with a bend radius of 4.5, and then when we hit check here, it'll trigger out, and we'll see a nice little extension. It is time to make the pipe. So if we double click on this thing, we're in millimeters right now. So if we look at that scenario, what would 12 inches be? 12 times 25.4. You see how that goes? So that'll give you the millimeters. If you wish, you can shift over to inches. But if you shift over to inches, it'll kick you out of that route. So you got to be careful right there. You got to right button click and then edit the route. So now we're back in and we're able to produce that route. We touch here and we come across. Now this works just like when we made that chair profile. So on the chair profile, we're going to go over 24 here roughly. So get it rough. And then we're going to go up 12 roughly. And then we're going to shoot over to the right. Am I shooting over to the right now? No. Check this out. I'm on a wall. So I need to hit tab. And now I'm coming the right direction. So here I want to go 48 inches. So once I stop that operation, I can come in and smart. You grab each one of these walls and they'll give you a dimension. So this one will be 24. And this one right here will be a total of 48. And then this one right here will be a height of 12. So we're fully defined. We're ready to produce the drawing mode of it. All right, so right there we're capped off for the design. And we could look at pulling out for a final flange. We pop it right there on that nubby. When it stops, you're good. And those are the size parameters. All right, so we hit escape. And let's draw an extension right here on this pipe. We can put it right there in the middle, but that might not be the middle because of the elbow. So we're going to draw it right here and then draw straight up. We've got to make sure that we went straight up with it. We went in the air. See, I'm over here, so if I touch it and then grab that line, I can say coincidental. So what's the distance? The distance is going to be off of, let's say, the end of the pipe extension and roughly about 24 over. So good enough. And then the height of it, let's do something like 18 inches. So that's the small extension. Now, when we do this, now we're going to put in a different size flange. So come over to the library, we go to our flanges, and we pop out on the flange. When we pop out on the flange, let's go down to like a 1.5. So we'll pop in for a 1.5 and then hit escape once. Now this doesn't do everything for you, alright? It does look good, but it's not everything. You right button click here and you have to penetrate. Once you penetrate on that component, then it'll kind of cut, do the bonding between these two. It won't leave it extended all the way into that other pipe. Now we'll finish up We hit check, and then we'll hit check and get back into the main assembly. When you see that, now it's hollow. And if you wish to check down in this tube, what you can do is I usually do this is I touch the wall in the tube here, and then I look at it, and it kind of tells me, okay, yeah, it's going all the way down to the inner of that tube. And there is a hole there. Always check that so you don't produce the drawing wrong. Hit save all, rebuild, and internally you can save this data. And then you're good as gold on the design. I will stop right here, and then I will do the drawing for the unit.